Parents, what's the dumbest thing your kid ever did that got them banned from riding the school bus? My son treats the morning bus like open mic night. He thinks the stop sign is a stage light, so he warms up with knock-knock jokes and fake snores. Most days, it ends with eye rolls and one pity laugh. Then came the spaghetti. Not a lunchbox, not a thermos. An entire glass baking dish I had wrapped in foil the night before had been taken with him. I watched him waddle to the bus with both hands under it. I asked, "What are you doing?" All he said was, "Public service." He steps on, rips the foil off, and steam hits 4 rows. He shouts, "Breakfast is served." Every head turns. The driver says, "Sit down." He says, "I'm catering. There's sauce, noodles, and a family of meatballs just living their best life." I had a bad feeling something was about to happen, and he hadn't even left the bus stop yet. And of course, right as I thought about it, he was scheming. He grabs one meatball with a napkin, winds-ups his arm, and launches it down the aisle. A 6th grader ducks and screams. A noodle sticks to a backpack. My son yells, "Fastball." The driver stands in her mirror and says, "Seat now." He nods and promises compliance. Then he grabs 2 metballs and underhands them across row 8. Kids start chanting for targets now, and the bus got completely fired up. Someone yells, "Call your shots." He points. Window. Meatball hits glass, leaves a round stamp, and rolls into a cup holder. He points. Backpack. Direct hit. The owner starts crying and laughing at the same time. He says, "We are a community. Share plates." Now he's handing out forks from his hoodie pocket. Who even carries forks onto a school bus? The driver slams the brakes at a stop sign not even at the end of my street, and the pan slides down the aisle. Sauce travels like a tiny red river under 11 shoes. He yells, "Everyone lift your feet." No one lifts anything. A meatball hits the camera dome over the driver. The dome smears red. The driver says, "You've got to be kidding me." Then the windshield gets a drizzle through the AC vent. Visibility gone. She immediately pulls over to the curb with hazard lights, now actually paying attention. She turns around and does that teacher stare without blinking. "Who brought a casserole onto the bus?" He lifts the pan and smiles with full confidence. He says, "You mean you're looking for the best chef here?" She radios dispatch and asks for a supervisor. A kid in the back shouts, "It smells amazing." After that, the driver walks the aisle and steps in a noodle that strings to her shoe. She pauses and reboots her soul. She says, "Phones away, voices off, and hands to yourself." My son, being the idiot he is, says, "I can't waste food. Grandma's rule." She says, "Trash. Now." He sighs and makes eye contact with the trash bag like it's a moral debate. Then a cruiser rolls up behind us. The lights fill the bus. Kids gasp like a celebrity just boarded. An officer climbs on and freezes at the scene. He looks at the pan, ceiling sauce, then directly at my son. He says, "Explain it." My son says, "School spirit." The officer was now pressing him. "Did you throw food on here?" My son says, "I distributed joy." The officer points to the camera with marinara tears. He says, "That is evidence and also sticky." And then the supervisor bus pulls up. They start transferring kids 2 at a time like a fire drill with carbohydrates. Every heel squeaks a tomato noise. A girl holds her lunchbox high like a trophy. My son waves and says, "Complimentary refills later." The driver says, "No refills anywhere." Now, the officer asked my son for a parent's number, and that's how we got here. I'm on the phone now, and I heard a deep voice from a police officer. "Your son brought a pan of spaghetti onto a moving vehicle." I say, "Of course he did." He says, "He used meatballs as projectiles." Not surprised. I repeated myself, "Of course he did." I show up not even a minute away, and he's still holding the pan like it's a trophy he regrets. He says, "We can save it." I say, "We cannot save anything." The driver gives me a look that has a lifetime warranty. She says, "He is done with the bus." The officer nods with the weight of procedure. He says, "He's lucky no one got hurt." My son says, "I wore the oven mitts." No one asked about oven mitts. When the next day came and he was officially banned from school buses, I told him he had to walk to school now. So when it was time to go, he puts his hands in his pockets and started the long, quiet hike to school. As he's leaving, I also saw his old bus pulling away with a noodle still stuck to the outside window.